white side? Or are you in the gray? The Bible says there's hot, there's cold, and there's lukewarm. He'd rather you be hot or he'd rather you be cold. But lukewarm, he spews out his mouth. That's worse than being cold. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for coming tonight. I hope you enjoy this.
It's a slow fade, but when you give yourself away, it's a slow fade, and black and white have turned to gray, and thoughts in vain. Choices are made, a price will be paid when you give yourself away. People never crumble in a day. It's a slow fade. It's a slow fade. Be careful, little eyes, what you see. It's a second glance to touch your hands as darkness pulls the strings. Be careful, little feet, where you go. For it's the little feet behind you that's sure to follow. It's a slow fade when you give yourself away. It's a slow fade, and black and white have turned to gray, and thoughts in vain. Choices are made, a price will be paid when you give yourself away. People never crumble in a day. It's a slow fade. It's a slow fade. Be careful, little ears, what you hear. When flattery leads to compromise, the end is always near. Be careful, little lips, what you say. For empty words and promises lead broken hearts astray. It's a slow fade when you give yourself away. It's a slow fade. Black and white have turned to gray, and thoughts in vain. Choices are made, a price will be paid when you give yourself away. People never stumble in a day. It's a slow fade. It's a slow fade. The journey from your mind to your hands is the shortest in your thinking. Be careful if you think that you can't stand. We just might be sinking. It's a slow fade when you give yourself away. It's a slow fade, and black and white have turned to gray, and thoughts in vain. Choices are made, a price will be paid when you give yourself away. People never crumble in a day. It's a slow fade. It's a slow fade. It's a slow fade. It's a slow fade. When you give yourself away, it's a slow fade. It's a slow fade. When you give yourself away, it's a slow fade. Black and white have turned to gray, thoughts in vain. Choices are made, a price will be paid. When you give yourself away, people never crumble in a day. It's a slow fade. It's a slow fade. It's a slow fade.
Black and white. It all turns to gray. So many times, there's that path that seems to lead straight out before us. It's clear, it's easy, everybody else is doing it, well worn, well walked on. It's broad, and it's not hard to find, it's not hard to follow. But then, there's another path. Not as big. It looks to be pretty safe. But really, in the end, it's all going that same place. So you may ask, well, what's the choice? This other path takes a little bit more sacrifice. It goes a little further out of the way. Not much. You can kind of keep with everybody else, but kind of not. And then there's yet another path that few find. And few even realize they're not on it. It's that narrow path. It's hidden, it's obscure. Not very well known. Many of us go through life being good people, not realizing that good isn't going to get us anywhere. The Bible states clearly that there's only one kind of person He'll let in heaven, and that's one without flaw, without fault, one that's perfect. As a rich man once said to Jesus, I've kept the law from my youth up. All the 10 Commandments have I kept. What must I do to get to heaven? Keeping the law is almost impossible. One mistake, and we have a line struck through our life. Another mistake, and there's big black spots. God hates sin. He doesn't allow it, none of any kind.
The Father's love for us, how vast beyond all measure, that He should give His only Son and make a wretch His treasure. How great the pain of searing loss, the Father turns His face away, as wounds which mar the chosen one bring many sons to glory. Behold the man upon His cross, my sin upon His shoulders. Ashamed I hear my mocking voice call out among the scoffers. It was my sin that held Him there until it was accomplished. His dying breath has brought me life. I know that it is finished.